I would like to ask is one simple question. Why do they hate Donald Trump the way they do? Now, you know, if your guy didn't win the election, well, you don't like the other guy because of, you know, policy differences or any number of things, but this is different. This is gut level, primal hatred. Can you even imagine what would have happened if somebody on our side had have held up a mock severed head of Barack Obama? Can you even imagine the reaction to that? There would be riots, there would be, quite possibly the beginning.
Very close.
I would submit to everyone that there are 3 reasons, basically, for this hatred of Donald Trump. And it's not complicated. It's ugly, but it's not complicated. Number 1, he is not part of the club.
Right.
Number 2, he is exposing the club.
Yep.
Number 3, he's trying to wreck the club. Now, he campaigned on the promise to drain the swamp. Same thing.
Right.
Now, we have, okay, who is the club, first of all?
Hillary.
We have come to call it the swamp, the establishment, the ruling class. You can call it whatever you
The
want.
elite, Steve State.
There's any number of things we can call it. I prefer swamp, you know, with the swamp rats.
Gators, too.
He came along and, well, for those of us men, you remember when you were a kid, 2 or 3 of your buddies would get together and you'd build a tree house. Okay, it's you and Jimmy and Frank, and y'all gave it a name like you're the masters of the lower 7th Avenue universe. And this is your exclusive club, and nobody is allowed in. Well, except Mama when she brings cookies, you know. We'll let her come in, and then about the time you turn 13, well, you know, you change the rules for girls being in, but that's different. But the thing is, it's that same mentality. We're the elites, and you are not. We're not letting you in. And he comes along, he was not supposed to win. And these people think that power is their birthright. They think that they are so entitled to ruling the country that anybody that comes along, any upstart comes along and dares challenge that, oh, no you don't. We're gonna put a stop to this stuff. Because the concept of public servants, that's a laughter to people in Washington. You ask the question, the most important political question that I know of is who works for who? Do the public servants see themselves as serving the public? Or do they see the public as their servants? Now, if you get to the bottom of that one, this whole thing starts making sense because you can see they're not there to serve you and I. They are there to rule. I'll never forget, in the 08 campaign, when Obama was running, his Iranian-born communist advisor, Valerie Jarrett, if that name, I'm sure everybody here knows that name, she made the statement. It's on YouTube. You don't have to take my name. You can look it up. It's on YouTube. She actually said, Barack Obama will be ready to rule on day 1. Look it up. You can see her say it for yourself. I about choked. I was like, what? But that's how they look at it. The second thing is, he is there and has been exposing these people. You know, it's like, okay, y'all probably never lived in a house that had cockroaches and all that sort of thing, but I have. And when you go in and you flip on the light, the roaches scurry. And they have been able to do so many things under the radar, in the darkness. And now, let's just be equal opportunity bashers here, okay? Everybody say, well, you're just picking on Democrats. Oh, stop right there. The Republicans, how many ran on the promise they were going to go to Washington and repeal Obamacare?
Oh, yeah, all
Did
of
you
them.
hear, did you hear that before?
All of them.
Okay, so they get up there and they put forth some bills and they play the game and they have their little show, you know, all these meaningless show votes, which were indeed meaningless because you know that this president is going to veto them. So you can grandstand and you can, all that you want to, because he's going to veto it. So you're safe. But when it comes down to it, when it came down to Fisher cut bait, what did we do? You got a guy now that will sign the bill. And he's asking them, where's the bill?
Send me the bills.
They had the bills already. They could have sent the same bill they sent to Obama,
Yes.
and it would have been a done deal. But, we can't. What? The fact is, see, he's exposing the cockroaches because turns out they kind of like all that power too. Then you have the fact that, you know, he wants to drain the swamp. Now, what does that mean, actually? That means, for years I have been pleading, please, could we just have somebody that will go up there and fight? Somebody that I will never, I'm sorry, George Bush, I used to make excuses for him all the time. You know, people say, well, Bush lied, people died, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And I would tangle up with him, you know, in a verbal sparring match. Well, you know, this, that, and the other. When Obama was president, George Bush had nothing to say. When Obama was just doing his dead level best to wreck this country. Now, his word was transform, okay?
Right.
So it's just a matter of semantics, you know.
Yeah.
But he was there to destroy what we know and love. And then when it's all in pieces on the ground, put it back together in his image and in his likeness and the way he wanted. Okay? That's what transform means to communists. But at any rate, George Bush or his father never had a word to say. They just, well, okay. But now that Donald Trump's in there, he's just running his mouth left and right about, well, he should this, he's that. George, if you couldn't say anything when Obama was running it in the ground, just shut up. Sorry. But when you take on the swamp, you know, when you want to drain the swamp, guess what? Turns out the swamp don't want to be drained. They react rather violently, as we have seen. They are bound and determined to destroy this man. Now, people say, ask some of them sometime, why do you not like Trump? I mean, what is your problem with him? Now, we're not talking about just, you know, political differences. I mean, we're talking about some that just hate his gut. Well, He's a pig. Really? What planet were you living on from 1992 to 2000? Were you anywhere near this place? He's a pig. Well, okay, maybe he doesn't have the high morals that, your Sunday school teacher does. Okay. He was an elected Sunday school teacher. I'm going to tell you, I voted for this man for somebody to go up there and fight these people. They are wrecking our country.
Me too.
My father was in Korea at a time when we fought stinking communists instead of electing them. We have now, this woman from New York City is not just the only one, there are more. But she just comes right out and says she's a socialist.
Yep.
Which means she's a communist, she just, whatever. But Trump has done what he can to fight this transformation. We don't need transformation, we need restoration.
Ooh, say that one again.
Good.
Thank
you.
Good job.
All right.
All right. Yeah, the swamp is fighting back, right?